to Artist in Recovery, and possibly Beau, the fifth column. Good morning, Justin King, but good morning, Daryl, who's artist. How you doing, guys? It's 1:10 in the morning West Coast time. It's still the 9th of Monday, January 2024. I'm not alive, not awake yet. I am my own zombie. I am sleep deprived, emotionally screwed up. This is the Weaver Agency of Roseman, California, if I haven't made that announcement clear enough. Yeah, I went after Beau on his article that I found out about a few hours ago, and I just decided on loud. Considered about science fiction. He wanted to try to talk to people about it. 8 minutes? Shit. You trying to put him to sleep, or are you trying to put him into a state of frenzy there? And next time you're going to be doing a Trek shirt, dude. Show the damn thing, not just the portions of it. God bless it. You're going to be a Trekkie, show the damn thing. Otherwise, don't do it. Well, of course, that's on my own violation I'm throwing on you. My own version of Sharia law. If you're going to be a Trekkie. Demonstrate it. Enforce upon it. Good Lord, I'm thinking about other songs going in my head, forcing shit down people's throats. You know, there was something that I'd seen back in the 1970s. It was a musical concerning about, and I can see this on YouTube. I have to dig deep enough on this one, but I've seen it on YouTube. Concerning about Alice and sort of Looking Glass. There's a song out there from the evil Queen Witch over there. The evil Queen. Yeah. Queen of Hearts. Off with his head. Off with his head. Different versions of this one. It sounds like the people doing the Sharia law, especially when the people don't get it right with the Queen and they're freaking out left and right. And it's like, off with their heads, off with their heads, off with their heads, and just go off on this musical tantrum here. God bless it. This is what happens when you stick a kid watching PBS a lot and other shows. I can't laugh at crap like that, you know. I gotta laugh at this stuff in the morning. I mean, reading or actually hearing something about science fiction being hard to people. Come on, Justin, give me a break on that shit. Literature, history is hard on people. They don't want to understand their own damn past or future or anything else about it. They want to be closed-minded individual idiots. I said it, and I'm not taking it back. You want people to be educated, fine. They have to choose it, though. They have to be willing enough. Otherwise, you're talking to an open space that doesn't give a shit. When we talk about recovery, my friend, that's where artists and I come in. We talk about our experiences, strengths, and hope, if there is any hope, and I think there is still hope left out there because we keep trying to demonstrate it one way or another. But we demonstrate it to people who have seen us and think we're shining beacons of light. But the people who keep struggling for survival, we're not thinking shining beacons of light. We're dealing with our own damn history. It keeps popping up left and right. We still have to keep dealing with the shit. That's why we have to keep constantly working with the 12 steps of recovery. Doesn't matter which particular program we're putting it into. We're still trying to analyze what's popping up here, talking about it, putting it down on paper, talking about it to another person, and get rid of the damn shit and move on. And then constantly be aware while we're trying to live a life according to a power greater than ourselves that we turned our will and our lives over to the care of. And for me, it was the god of science fiction, or whatever it was. But for me, it was also more than that. When I talk about recovery, and I'll talk about recovery from time to time on this one, Daryl's caught it a few times. That's why I got his attention. Recovery is important to us. Recovery is life. We see the mistakes. We see how people go through shit. We examine our own elements and try to communicate that with other people. And then, if they get it, they get it. If they don't, then that's on them, not us. Not the storytellers. Not the ones telling our own damn stories, our own histories. When I talk about science fiction, yeah, we're talking about science fiction. But I'm also talking about the history behind science fiction. I'm talking about the methods on that one. I'm talking about everything else, not just give a sheen, give it a cover sheen. That's about it. No, I throw a novel at your face on that one. That's what scares the teachers these days. Sometimes you'll get one particular student over there who loves to write a story, and it terrifies them because they want to see cookie cutter, but they also want to see creativity in the world of academia. I bet they're so many damn professors. They scare me, but no, I scare them. My language, my techniques have to be redefined under academia. They have to be, but they're still wild enough out there that they're like, huh? Especially for some of those who've actually been out there and they keep saying, well, your technique sucks, but it still needs to be improved upon. Okay, but did you get the story right? Well, I caught it, but I'm looking for the technique. That's the problem with the land of academia, guys. They want techniques more, but not the story, not the creativity. Unless, of course, you're going to be in different classes that are uniquely suited, but they still want to see the technique. You can write a story like crazy, but you still got to have the techniques concerning about how to write the damn thing, the mechanics of it. That's what I look at as the mechanics of it. Mechanical functioning of a story or of a good essay turned into a story. If you had one particular professor who had an open mind concerning about stuff like this, Justin, would you consider him wokeism or not? In recovery, if you actually heard the stories that we talk about, is it considered wokeism or not? Want to add politics to recovery? Oof, that's a bad combination, I'll tell you that much. It's one thing you talk about science fiction, you talk about these other shows left and right, you talk about Star Wars, the epitome of good versus evil, the epitome of rebel versus an empire, the epitome of this versus that, us versus them. Boil it, simple it. Make it condensed enough where you can actually spoon feed it down your throat. Spoonful of sugar helps the medication go down. Of course, I'm paraphrasing it because I don't want Disney on my ass on that one. Mary Poppins is still copyrighted, and it's still Disney. Or is it Miss Banks who still owns it, or the Banks family on that one? I'll have to find out about that. There's a copyright infringement there somewhere. But this is the kind of stuff that we wake up to, and this is the stuff we talk about, isn't it? Daryl, you like to talk about other weird ass things I've seen that normal people generally don't pick up unless it's the social media or it actually picks up in the main media and the entertainment, and then it's poof. It's a poof piece. It's there and then poof, it's gone. It's not long lasting. It's not staying. It's not in people's front line or public eye because it's not catching their attention enough on that one. Terrifying, isn't it? But it is. That story we did about Ian, or actually you talked about it, but they also talked about it earlier on that one. He comes out of his car after getting it theoretically broken, and then you got a swarm of bikers coming on his ass because he decides to take action. That doesn't get someone else's attention at that point over here. But how about if there was shooting happening in the area? Would that get more attention? We get shootings all the time. Not just one city, but everywhere. But if you're covering local, there's another shooting happening in another area. We had shootings not out here in my territory of Roseman, but we had it in Lancaster. We also had it out in San Fernando Valley, not to mention Los Angeles. A few seconds of news, and then after that, poof. Or how about a chase going through the towns? We get a lot. Sometimes we'll have a chaser, actually the guy being chased by cops, shoots, or being accused of shooting. Is that considered wokeism? Daryl, you don't cover politics enough on this one here. But then again, it's my own personal opinion at this point over here because you're doing the personal human. You're doing the entertainment slots. concerning about Trump and his mouth and the Trumplicans out there who want vengeance. Well, hell, that's hard enough. And how come Justin hadn't talked about that one? No, here's another one Justin hadn't talked about. There was a story that was running into CNN, and I was trying to do a video on this one. I really got to get it relabeled to get attracted attention on this one. Navajo Nation went over to the White House just before launch, about a couple of days ago, trying to delay the launch because of human DNA being placed on the moon, and they considered the moon being sacred. Now, how does this grab you guys? Daryl, I know part of your history. Would you have cared? And Justin, how come you're not covering that damn shit? You're covering about Trumplican and the other people freaking out left and right. And that's all we have to worry about? A Navajo Nation comes up to the White House to talk about human DNA being placed on the moon. You're not seeing it. You talk about science fiction being hard. Try this one. Navajo Nation, an Indian culture who's dedicated for nature and life itself. Nature and life are the culture. And they view life in a different way than us European descendants do. We deal with the manifest destiny crap. We have to dominate and conquer anything and everything. That's in our genetic makeup. How come we weren't talking about that one? And when we start putting more footprints on the moon in the form of robots, and then after that humans, now how's that going to be affecting other cultures down there that look at the moon as sacred? And my argument, when I was trying to make it, I was making a very lousy point at this point, was where the hell was all these damn protests, and how come they weren't recorded? How come they weren't mentioned? Especially when we had the lunar shots going, or prior to that. Where the hell were they? Nowhere. Crickets on that one. We had the American thing going on. We had a political Cold War mentality going on a constant basis. Was that needed? Was that merited? Was that warranted? Was that wokeism? We had McCarthyism going on like crazy. Where the hell were they? In the background still. We had the Cold War going on. Where the hell were they? Were we affecting culture in the earth back then? All of our atomic testing? They were there when it came down for World War II. They fought. There are certain points that they'll cross and other points they won't. They were trying to make something political, but they're also trying to make a point somewhere. How come you didn't talk about that one? Both of you guys. Yeah. Because I kept trying to tell people left and right. But you guys keep missing that one. Even I miss it. That's why I have to be reminded. Some of the things are important, other things aren't important. You look at the item, is it important or is it not important? And under whose viewpoint and perspective is making the point. Think about it, gentlemen, and have a good morning. I got college coming up in a few hours. First day of class, and I'm tired as hell. Perfect time to go back into college.